Good morning. All right. As usual, cannot figure out how to make my intro. I can't, if anybody can help me after this live, something is going on with my Google account. And I can't get into it from my laptop. Like I can sometimes, and then other times it just kicks me back and then shows sign in. So I can't access my YouTube from my laptop. I don't know what's going on. I fixed it the other day and now it's doing it again. So I am on StreamYard, but I'm going to use my phone to follow the chat and stuff because I feel like I don't see all the comments when I'm in StreamYard. And this is a wild freaking ride. All the comments when I'm in StreamYard. And this is a what? Sorry. What we're going to talk about today is in reference to something that I watched the other day. So I want to make sure I'll post the link in the chat for Alex Erickson's video, her live that she did the other night. And she had 2 women with her. It was amazing. Whoever's here, if anybody's here, I'm not, because it shows me 3, but I don't know if that's accurate. Can you tell me if my sound is okay? Because I'm on my purple earbuds and I feel like they're not as good as my black ones. And I'm going to try to make this short and sweet, and I want to tell the story because it is flipping insane, but I'm not going to be, obviously, I don't have all the details in front of me. I just have to share what I heard. It is all backed up by evidence. There is receipts. Alex Erickson has them up. Like, I'm so proud of her. She did something so brave, knowing what the fallout would be, to call out a freaking scam that is next level, lifetime worthy insanity. Hey, Mo. Hi, 3boy. If I didn't say hi, I think I did. So we just have to talk about it because, I mean, if I didn't, I will tell you now, when I first heard of this story, the story that I'm going to be telling, I remember when this whole saga came out and I was kind of like, nah, whatever. And there was bits and pieces. Some of it I was buying, some of it wasn't, but I never was a Watts person, right? So even when I was like really involved in true crime and like watching a lot of different cases and stuff. Hey, Britt. Yeah, I know I made it. Listen, it was close because I was fighting with Target. They overcharged me $28 and I was getting that $20 back. Come hell or high water, I was getting that $28 back. But you all know CJ's up, so that means I may have to pause and like be interrupted, but we'll do the best we can to get through this. Now, Britt knows so much. Like she knows a lot because has probably more information than me, and I will drop a link and we're going to discuss it. So let me and I will drop Allie's link. Oh, thank you so much, Britt. So that everybody can get like the full context and see the actual timeline and the receipts. But I'm going to try to summarize it to the best of my ability because I know some of you will be like, holy shit. Like we thought we saw scams, social media scams before. This is terrifying. Okay. Normally I don't like to name names and call out channels and things like that, but I have to in order to tell this story. So, oh, my love, you're here. No, I didn't get stuck there, Hope, I promise. I just got stuck there for this one thing because I've been wanting to tell you about this so much. So listen, let me just start because if I don't start, we're never going to get there, okay? There is a channel that goes by the name of Unmurdered, and a woman named Heather runs it. And this woman was very involved in the Watts case, okay? So I'm going to do this as short and sweet as possible so we can talk about it. What this woman managed to do was convince another woman that she was in she was talking to Chris Watts, basically. And she got this other woman hooked up with him and had this woman believing that she was communicating with Chris Watts via text message because he somehow had a tablet he could text from in prison. And this other woman, I'm going to say her name because her name has been said, is Angie. She was under this impression that she was having full-on conversations with Chris Watts. She believed he was innocent. That's kind of like besides the point as I get into the story, because I know what a lot of you are going to think as soon as I say that, but just put that aside for a second. This woman believed that she was talking to Chris Watts. He was innocent. And there is when I'm going to call the cycle of abuse begins. Because the reality was, poor Angie was never speaking to Chris Watts. And the relationship, hey, Queen. Yes, Hope from AD's channel. The relationship was all Heather pretending to be Chris Watts. Like, there's so much, guys, but I just want to get to the nitty gritty so we can talk about it. And basically manipulating and conning this woman, because what ended up happening, now we're only talking about Angie. I'm not even getting into the Miranda stuff yet. Miranda is Angie's daughter. This woman, Angie, was, of course, making money available to, using air quotes, Chris Watts, thinking that she was helping him with commissary and a typewriter and all this other shit, right? Meanwhile, the cash was going to Heather from Unmurdered, pretending to be Chris Watts. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Like, she had convinced this woman. She ran such a good con that she convinced this woman that she was, hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Where's the other half of the egg? You ate it? Okay. Sorry, she took a hard-boiled egg out of the fridge. She had convinced this woman, stop, give it to me. That's enough. Sorry, guys, I can't mute, and she's got the salt. I have to mute. Sorry, guys. She had got her hands on the salt shaker. She was getting that her little hard-boiled egg with salt. Okay. So she had managed to convince this woman, who I will say, from what you will see when you watch, because I'm assuming you're all going to go watch Allie's live after this. She's a vulnerable, sensitive, this is the impression I got, woman who really did believe that she was talking to Chris Watts. And I know it may sound crazy to some of us because you say, how could you fall for that? Well, she did. Okay, she did. It is what it is. We're talking about a lot of money, guys, that this woman took from her. But then it gets even more fucked up, all right? It gets more fucked up because somehow, I don't know the details, but Angie's daughter, Miranda, starts talking to Chris Watts, and that's where our love story comes into play. And if any of you followed this when what was the hashtag? Somebody remind me, where they were trying to rescue Miranda, I guess. Well, okay. So she starts now her love connection with Chris Watts, okay? Yeah, tuna $30,000, okay, guys? $30,000 this poor woman was shilling over thinking it was going to help Chris Watts, okay? Well, now Angie, daughter Miranda, starts talking to Chris Watts. And this is where the mystery is, guys. Okay. I'm a little unsure if this girl Miranda was in on the hoax or what, or she's a victim. I'm leaning towards victim because I have a feeling similar to her mother. She was easily influenced, vulnerable, maybe a little naive. She is now in a texting relationship because, again, somehow Chris Watts can text from prison. And this love affair starts between Chris Watts and Miranda, and they're going to get married. So Angie thinks that Chris Watts is now going to be her son-in-law. Good morning, Navigator. And the incessant conning continues, okay? So there's continuous conning and money and this whole story. And then, and I'm sure somebody else can fill in. I don't know all the details on this part, but Angie and Miranda were in Canada. So now this is where that whole like rescue Miranda thing came. Somehow Miranda gets to the States and is now with Heather. Okay, because Heather's the liaison. Unmurdered is the liaison between Chris Watts and this family, right? And let me just throw in there, she also pretended to be Mark Garagos. And if any of you are familiar with who he is, he's like a prominent attorney. So she managed to convince people Heather was Mark Garagos texting and communicating with Angie and her daughter. Okay, so this con runs so deep, guys. I should show, it's a little hard to timestamp because Allie's video is so good, guys. There's so much there, so you have to go watch it. Like, if anybody watches this video, like, this is how like lit a fire under my ass. If anybody watches this live and can say at the end of it, like, Oh, maybe. I mean, there's so much proof. This is a community about receipts and proof. The receipts and proof are there. Like, it can't be any more in your face. Like, down to PayPal's lining up with text conversations to a T. Like, it's insane. And I know I'm leaving out important details, but I just wanted to get this word out because I really want us to discuss it. So ultimately what ends up happening is this, now that Miranda, who's going to marry Chris Watts, is in the States, Heather, unmurdered, and Miranda are also asking Angie for money, for different things. And for Chris, for Chris and for them. Well, once the money shuts off, okay, once mom says, you know what, I'm starting to think like this is all bullshit, right? And cuts the money off, that is right when the campaign against Angie begins, saying, thank you, Brittany. Yes, I will put that link in chat as well. If somebody with a wrench would mind putting Alex Erickson's link and Remurdered's link in the chat, that'd be great. The money cuts off, and this is when the campaign of Save Miranda starts, because she's now somehow has these memories of sexual abuse and being sold, and that she now comes out of the closet and that she is gay and she's going to marry Heather, not Chris. And then the story comes out that her mother had paid men to her to make her straight. Like, the whole thing is obscene, absurd, and crazy. Guys, this is literally true. This is true stuff, okay? This is true crime. I said this in a chat the other day. I said, this is true crime. Like, this is what the true crime or the trauma community should be focusing on. If we're not focusing on cases, we should be focusing on really dangerous con artists that are weaponizing true crime cases to grift. Because this, and it's not even a grift, because it's one poor woman that was targeted. It's unbelievable. So now here we are, however much later, the truth starts coming out. So, of course, they start doubling down. Again, Miranda thinks her and Chris broke up. So that's how she ended up in this relationship with Heather. They start this homophobic campaign saying that the mother's homophobic. There's apparently a deceased child, or not another, but a deceased child in that family. They used that. They weaponized that against the mother. It's unbelievable, guys. And we are going to talk about it because it was so refreshing. Let me say this. I have been bopping around a lot lately in chats and stuff, and I've been in chats with people I may not necessarily agree with. We don't share maybe the same ideals, or I don't always enjoy maybe their coverage of certain things or lives, but it was refreshing to see a bunch of people, a bunch of creators, and a bunch of subs from all different parts, all different quote unquote communities or channels, coming together to agree on some really important things. That this woman is a con artist. And this is like a professional con, guys. This is not like a wake up and, I got to get $50 out of somebody con. This is like hardcore professional work. Okay. To see everybody agree on this, like, oh my gosh, now we see all the evidence. We see the receipts. We see this beautiful timeline that was put together by these women. But to just make it easy for us to understand, it was so refreshing. And then also, nothing for nothing, there is two particular creators that are still backing Heather and, saying everybody else is lying and kind of perpetuating this scam, this con, the horrible stuff that was done to this girl's mother, Miranda's mother. This isn't sad fishing. This is not even in the same realm of sad fishing. This is a con. This could be a movie, guys. This woman, okay, Heather, because that's what I'm going to say. It was Heather, was texting Angie, okay, saying that Chris Watts, okay, get this, guys, there's a new program at the prison where he can sell his kidney for $50 to get money on his books. Okay? I swear to God, that's what they told this woman. And this woman believed it and gave more money because she didn't want him to sell his kidney. Let's say, clearly Heather's a scamming pathological sicko, but what the hell is wrong? Oh, well, I have feelings about that too, Navigator. I think she's that's why I kind of led with like, she believed what she believed for whatever reason. I mean, she apparently was told details about the murder that proved that that there was, or was told that there was evidence that Chris wasn't there, and was told this by Mark Garagos. Carolyn, don't do it. Sorry, guys. She's got like some sort of yogurt catastrophe. Don't you dare. And she just, like those drinkable yogurts. We're outside, but she just did something with it. I'm just going to stick her in the bath when we're done. She likes having a little party with it over there. But anyway, so she, for whatever reason, this woman believed he was innocent and believed what she was being told because she thought she was talking to Chris Watts, Heather Unmurdered, who was supposedly like a super sleuth and reliable and had a good reputation, and Mark Garagos. Okay. But so I think that's what happened there. But I'm even more disappointed. I mean, I can't be any more disappointed than I am in this unmurdered woman. But Crafton and Kim are right there co-signing all of this and backing her and saying that this is like some sort of like a homophobic smear campaign, that nobody knows what they're talking about. Hey, Remy. And it's just getting it's insane, guys. It's just insane. Heather went above and beyond to prove to Angie we are talking about fraudulent NDAs and several. Oh, yes. No, like she really, it wasn't just like a matter of like, hey, he's innocent. Like, no, there was so much involved here, guys. You have to watch that live that Allie did. It's so informative. Your jaw will be on the ground. There was a text message in there saying that Chris needed like Jordans or something. Like he needed a pair of Jordans, or he really wanted a pair of Jordans. Well, she bought the Jordans. I mean, it was insane. So I didn't, Britt, see anything last night, but I'll have to catch up on that. So I'm going to drop the link so that if anybody else has anything to contribute, I just kind of want to get the gist out, like what's happening here, because to me, this is like needs attention. We need to talk about it. We need to also like remember that some of us may be a little bit more savvy than others in the sense that maybe we're not as easily influenced. We're not as naive. Maybe we have different experiences, life experiences that make us a little less gullible or a little bit more guarded. But there are people that are not, and they are potential victims to things like this. So this happens. The internet is a fucked up place, right? And there's so much shittiness that happens. And that weren't even his size, right, Navigator? That like I think calling, I mean, and this is like a long con, right? This isn't like a troll. This isn't even, it's not sadfish. This is a con of epic proportion. Like it is some crazy shit. Yes. But I don't know if AD was con too, because I thought I heard that he eventually figured out she was also full of shit and tried to call her out and nobody believed him. But somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. All right, let me drop this link. Bear with me, because you know how like terrible I am at it when I'm on my laptop, because I don't know how to copy select all. Okay. And we're going to paste. Now, listen, I have never really got into the Watts stuff. Of course, I watched the Netflix series. Of course, I listened to some. When I first started hanging out on like YouTube live streams, I listened to some of the Critical Case stuff. I remember being like totally disgusted when Lana wanted to do the 35C thing and following that. Yes, Navigator, I agree. I think she's like a sociopath. And then and I say that loosely because obviously I can't diagnose anybody. I'm just saying like it's that type of stinking thinking that like really is scary. Okay, Britt's here. Do I need to put up an overlay? I'm just going to hope and pray.
It's me.
Would you loot me, Bomb?
No, it's me.
Okay, good. So so like you have so much to contribute because you have details and you know so much more about this. I just wanted us to have like talk about it. Like I have been thinking about this. Like I am still in shock and awe that this went this far and this story that was created about this girl's mother to make her look like this evil what was the word? Extreme, religious extremist that did all this horrible stuff because her daughter was gay, when the reality is this had absolutely nothing to do with sexuality. It had nothing to do with who the woman who Miranda was with or wasn't with. It was nothing to do with that.
Well, we'll see. And that hits me on a personal level too, for two reasons. One, I'm a Christian and my brother's gay. So don't sit there and say that, just because someone's a Christian, they're going to treat someone who's, gay or whatever different. And then I have been on the other end, the receiving end of Kim and Crafton's trickery, where they tried to convince everybody that I was homophobic, I was racist. It's bullshit.
They sure did, and that's Brittany's. That's 100% accurate. They did, but that seems to be their. I mean, I hate to say this, but it's like almost their crutch. Like when they're losing an argument, or they can't prove whatever they're trying to prove, or they can't get like their message across that they want to get across, whatever that may be, it always derails to sexuality and, marginalized people. I did hear you said, sorry.
Mommy. Don't apologize. You're a mom. It's okay. No, what I saw last night was disgusting. And I'll just say it. I'm sorry. I went over there to hear what they had to say. People were being blocked for asking legit questions. People were being respectful. And if you voiced that you believe the other side, they were blocking you. Like, if you want people to hear what you have to say, you have to let them have a voice. And they're reverting back to that first video that Allie put out, where Angie was talking about she wanted her daughter back. Well, of course she wants her daughter back, but to sit there and like lay on top of that and just blatant disregard for the money. What they said last night was Heather admitted that she took some money in a deceptive way or whatever, but they're not owning all of these messages that are supposedly Chris. So my question is,
how could they not?
Where did they come from?
So do they really think that all these people in this community are going to believe that this woman was texting with Chris Watts from prison on a tablet? Are we supposed to believe that Heather believed that, and that she didn't? Like, we're all that stupid that we're going to buy into that, especially with the obvious, transactions lining up with the text messages and all that stuff. I mean, really?
So these messages weren't Heather, but you got to remember, all of the money was going to the unmurdered PayPal account. So you mean to tell me just some rando was messaging Angie without Heather's knowledge, and Heather was sitting back receiving these PayPals that she knew nothing about? Come on. The proof is out there. And then they say, well, we have proof. Heather put a comment in Kim and Crafton chat. People think I don't have proof. I do. It's just piled on top of each other. No, don't give me that. You've had days. You mean to tell me that you're sitting there with some kind of bombshell that proves you're innocent and you're not going to show it?
Oh, I have an opinion about that. They're researching, quote unquote researching. Their goal right now is to dig up anything they can on anybody involved on exposing this, to try to quote unquote expose them, put all their dirty deeds out, create an entire distraction so that that they can derail. It's classic, like a distraction technique. They don't have, unless it's fabricated. I mean, how can they disprove this? It's I don't know.
Yeah. No, there's no way to spin it. And I'm sorry, I don't care, Kim Crafton. We've seen you do this so many times, where you're known as the spin doctors of the community. You are the PR of the community. And that's exactly what you're doing right now. You're going to take a situation where you clearly, the proof is in plain sight, and to sit there and say, I like Allie. That's not the problem. I like Allie. Oh, really? You like Allie? But you're going to sit there and try to discredit everything this poor girl sitting here telling you with proof? Don't say, oh, God.
Yeah. And didn't they also bring up parts about her history that are completely irrelevant just to humiliate her and hurt her.
Yeah.
They did that. I mean, they do that to people. I saw them do it to Alicia one time. Like, it was terrible. And I was like, I've never even heard this woman speak on them. I mean, this was a while ago. And they're like putting all this horrible information out that was just like, why? I don't know. It's really, I can't even put it into words, because that's how like mind blown I am that they are supporting this, but then like anybody else too that's riding along with it, because I'm sure Lana's there rallying. It's just like a bunch of people that, I don't know, that just are desperate at this point, I guess. Desperate for, I don't know what, to why they are riding so hard for this woman, Heather, and for Miranda is beyond me. I just don't get it.
So I want to lay something, I want you guys to think about this, because this made me cry yesterday. So you have this woman, Angie, who has already lost one child, right? And now she's lost another to Heather. And if that's not enough, she's out $30,000+. I don't know about y'all, but like, I'm sure that, puts a dent in her back.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money no matter who you are. I'm sorry. Exactly. Like, unless you have millions and millions and millions and you just have money to throw away. But that is some people's savings. That might be their retirement. Yeah. Like, that's a lot of money.
So money's not everything, and I don't mean to harp on that, but let's be real here. Money is the way we live. That's how we survive. So this poor woman is out of her child. Her child's not speaking to her. She has to worry about her safety every day. She's already grieving from the loss of another. Now her bank account has freaking been dwindled by 30,000+. And if that's not enough for you, every day this poor woman is receiving phone calls and text messages of the most vile shit you can imagine. Excuse my French. But they're saying things like, oh, there was a double unaliving at your daughter's apartment. Imagine getting a phone call at 2 a.m. that your daughter and her girlfriend just, or wife, whatever, just unalived themselves. So, and then you got to think, why would she say that? So could you imagine? Allie said that Angie goes 3 days at a time with no sleep. When is enough enough? And also, I want to add that the ex-mods that spoke out with Allie told me in my chat the other night that there's not one day that goes by that they're not harassed. So these girls are allegedly sending text messages, threatening phone calls. They're working behind the scenes diligently to try to torture these people. This is not innocent people. And then you got to wonder how.
Far from it. And it's, I mean, I think the money is, like, I think we should sorry, I muted myself, because to me, that's where the criminality comes into it. Like, that is definitely fraud by deception, or what do you call it? Like, when you're wiring money across, because it's international too. And I think people don't realize that. Like, we also are talking about people in 2 different countries. Like, it's complicated, but at the same time, it's so obvious. Like, it's frustrating that people are still backing this. I just don't get it. The torture that mother has been through is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
You can't tell me that forgery is not at play here, because she posed as Mark Garagos.
I had asked this question, and I understand. Like, I even said, why can't, I mean, because he probably could care less, because it's like a spit in the ocean for him. But like, I mean, I would think if he really wanted to pursue, like, you're impersonating an officer of the court and giving advice to people as if you are this particular lawyer, when that has already been confirmed that Mark Garagos had nothing to do with this. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was confirmed. Yeah. I remember those 2 young women saying they already spoke to his law firm.
They did.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He had nothing to do with this.
They didn't talk to him personally, but they did talk to one of his assistants. And they are absolutely aware that he has been, like, she's, pretended to be him and collected funds in his name. So
yes, that
I
was the other
hope,
thing. Collecting money in his name, saying he was working pro bono, but it's for other legal fees that are needed. Like, come on. Like, why would anybody, this is my question. Once you saw the evidence and got all the information, how could anybody in good conscience that wants to cares one iota about their reputation on like YouTube, let's say, and wants to be like considered like a channel that puts out anything valuable, continue to stand by these people, even if you have to take the L and say, you know what, we made a mistake. It was a bad, we trusted the wrong people. Whatever, we worked off of bad information. We're sorry, we see it now. End of story, move on. But to double down, knowing that there's all of this evidence here is just unfathomable.
yeah. Well, so I'm not even going to say who it was because that's irrelevant. But someone actually came into their chat last night and they asked, they were like, so, and I mean this question in the most respectful way, like they were trying to be as kind as possible. What if you find out that, you've been misled? To Kim and Crafton. Crafton snapped. He had to apologize to that person because he snapped.
Because they're on edge. Because they're on edge. They know.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
did he respond? Did he say like did he even entertain it, or he just
they have not been misled and that there's a plethora of evidence that they just got to go through? Kim kept saying, "Oh, well, we have the evidence, but I'm going to do this the right way. There's redactions. I'm going to do this one time and we're moving on when I put it out." Okay. Like, then you shouldn't, if you have to wait to put your whatever it is you have out, then why even go live about it until you're ready?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to put doubt in people's minds. And then they said something, oh God, this pissed me off. They said the police have already looked at this and determined that there was no wrongdoing. Are you kidding me? No,
Stop.
that is not what happened. That there's a conflict because it is international. So basically they're in a position of trying to figure out whether it's Canada or Vegas that takes it. But
it's a jurisdiction nightmare. I mean, I can't imagine.
But to blatantly say that the police found that there was no wrongdoing, at this point, like, you're blatantly lying. That didn't.
Yeah, I mean, blatantly lying seems to be a redacting as they completely dox other people's entire lives. I know, nope, they're not doxing, they're researching and making people. It's awareness, Hope.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It just really lit a fire in me because I was just like, you know what? Like, all of the Watts stuff, okay? Forget like Chris Watts, the crime, all that put aside. Like, I think it is what it is, and there's, he admitted to it and it's done and over it. That's me. I didn't need any more. But this could have been anybody, any other prominent like criminal, right? That has like that could be used this way to like target vulnerable people or more naive people, or maybe people that just they don't understand how the prison system works. They don't understand that people don't have the ability to text from prison or, sell their kidneys for $50. Like, it's just, and I get it's hard to believe, but at the same time, I've seen a few things over these last few years where I thought, like, you know what, maybe I wouldn't have fell for it, but I understand there are people that are a little bit more naive in that, operate differently than me, and maybe they're not as guarded. So it is possible. It was possible. It happened. This is real.
Well,
this woman.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I know I'm like harping on the kidney thing because that right there was just like the icing on the cake for me. Oh, and then the other thing about the spirit box, or where they said where Chris, I think it was in a text message. Chris was texting Angie saying, "I know your daughter, the one that passed away, is watching over my girls in heaven." Like, how disgusting and manipulative. I mean, or it was like, we know, I don't want to say the deceased daughter's name, even though I know that everything's okay to say. Her was watching over Cece and Bella in heaven, and that he was so relieved knowing that like his sister-in-law, because this is when he was still going to marry Miranda, I guess, was going to be with his babies. And it was disgusting.
Full-blown emotional manipulation, period.
Oh, yes, definitely. Emotional. I mean, it's abusive. And that's why I get kind of weird with the Miranda stuff. I'm very torn. I haven't really formed an opinion yet, like how complicit she is, because she does come off when I've watched some of those lives, I went back, she does appear uncomfortable and awkward. And she does appear like Heather's always over her shoulder. And she does it almost, but maybe it's because I have the information I have now. So maybe I am somewhat biased, but I feel it does feel scripted. It does feel coached. So like, I understand now where initially people were like, this girl is being taken advantage of just as much, like, she's not in a safe place either. And now that all this is being exposed, and I know you had mentioned this, Britt, like it does create sort of a dangerous situation, which I wish it didn't, but like it had to be done. And I hope, like, I really wonder, is Miranda like sitting there now going, was this all a lie? Like, Heather, did you do this? Is this like you were Chris and you were Mark the whole time? Like,
well, okay, so there's aspects where I think that Miranda has taken part because she's asked herself for money. But let me tell you what Allie told me happened. And this is why I believe that I don't know how much Miranda actually knows about, because Miranda, the other night when they were live, Miranda said that she was receiving threatening phone calls. She brings up the number and she's like, here, let's call them. And Heather grabs the phone and she's like, no, don't call them. Okay, well, that tells me Miranda thinks that it's real, and Heather is probably the one up. How many messages are Miranda receiving, or how many things that have happened that Heather is telling Miranda that aren't true? So then we got to take into consideration, we got a girl who lives in the home with her. We clearly see how manipulative this woman is. So you tell somebody, it's just like I said on my live last night, if you tell someone something over and over and over, eventually they start to believe that. But somebody keeps bringing this up, and I'm not going to go too far into this, but people keep mentioning, well, what about the SA part? Miranda M's keeps claiming the whole SA. I'm not going to say something didn't happen to somebody, but what I will say is I heard the audio with my own ears before Allie put this stuff out. And the first time Allie come out with this, the very first video, the one that Kim and Crafton keep harping on, well, somehow Angie made contact with Miranda and Heather, and they were trying to work things out privately behind the scenes. They started asking Angie for money immediately, as soon as they were, on speaking terms. This was very recent. And Angie had a conversation with Miranda, and she said, why would you lie on your brother and your dad about doing horrible things to you? And she said, because you were coming after me and Heather on the internet.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why I question things.
No, there's, and I agree with Mo. Like, nobody should question anybody's trauma. I don't want to know anybody's trauma, but thanks, Mo. But at the same time, like, it's kind of strange, like how, like, if we're reading it as like a novel, let's say, like how everything kind of falls into place. And there is like a perfect matchup with when mom, Angie, says, okay, I don't think this is fake, whatever. And she cuts off the money, that all of this other stuff starts to come out. Like, it is, maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's not, but it is very, very questionable. I'm sorry, like, making accusations like that ruin people's lives. And if it's true, oh my God, I hope she finds healing, and I'm sorry, and I hope she's in a safe place. But if it's not true, like, I don't know, it's a very touchy subject. But
okay, so they're really focusing on she had to do what she had to do to get Miranda out to a safe place. Miranda lived on her own for 2 years in Canada.
Yes, I was going to bring that up because I do remember Allie saying that. Yep.
Okay, not only that, all of this grifting and money exchanges, a huge part of it happened well before M ever went down there with Heather. So I'm sorry. That doesn't.
You're right. I mean, there was a whole thing happening. You're right. Before Miranda ever was with Heather, this whole Chris Watts and Angie relationship was developing. I mean, some of these text messages, guys, and I'm not going to go into detail, but you'll understand what I'm saying, were very like adult themed that this person was telling Angie that they were doing. Okay. And I'll leave it at that.
So
like to pictures of her daughter. Okay. It's disgusting.
There's more than that too, according to one of the ex mods that we haven't. It gets more. But no, to answer your question, Navigator. Hold on, let me see it again. Navigator said, where did it go? She had a question. Was the phone call? Yeah, the phone call was recorded between M and her mom. And I actually on that Read Murder channel, Audie dropped the link for it. I think the recording is, they put it on that Read Murder channel if you want to go hear it.
Remy, I agree, and Britt makes a good point. She did live on her own. I mean, and I understand, like there's a whole psychological component. I get it, but I don't know. I feel like the evidence and the facts that point towards this being a con are far greater than any evidence to support anything else going on. That is just my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But where we're at right now, there is far more evidence that this was a long con than anything else.
Well, and if Angie's such a bad person and she's this
horrible mother, this horrible, homophobic, terrible, abusive mother, they didn't mind asking her for money constantly.
Exactly. You don't ask someone who brings you great trauma that you want to get away from. You cut off all contact. You don't ask them for anything. And then if she's such a horrible mother, then why would she shell out money to get you a car, to get you an apartment?
$1,900 for a cell phone. I mean, it was like crazy. And you're right. Like, I know there's like a whole psychological component that comes with like abuse and your abusers and all that kind of stuff. But even in the conversations that we witnessed, the text exchange about money and stuff, they weren't like confrontational by any means. They were like, Mom, I need help, or I need that, right? Am I wrong? They were like, oh, we need a car. She needs a car and a phone and blah, 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 blah. Like, it was very transactional, if that's the right word. I don't know. It certainly wasn't like, for all the harm you caused me and hurt, you owe me this. I mean, not that would be appropriate either, but I don't know.
It was a complete pull on the mom's heartstrings for their child.
I think so.
She's going to need a way to survive, Are you going to help her? She has to go to work. I don't want her to have to take the bus, or she needs a phone. She's going to have to, and I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but who would believe that Chris Watts has a phone in jail? Like I said, the amount of documents that were forged, you had this woman signing NDAs. If you were to question someone, if I was to say, Audie, prove to me you have a lawyer, and Audie was to send me physical documents with the lawyer's name, the watermark and all that, I would be like, holy crap, she really does. I saw it. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. This was like professional con. This was not like something cooked up on spur of the moment. This is somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. And I can guarantee, I don't say that loosely, that there is other cons completely separate from this that this woman ran. And I am confident that that's probably, her name is probably not her name. And I have a feeling that she's done some other really trifling, nasty shit that is unrelated to the Chris Watts stuff, unrelated to Miranda, and other places, whether it be through social media or some other platform. I don't doubt that. I mean, I will say that. I mean, of course I could be wrong, but I'm saying it. It's my opinion. Allegedly, I believe.
You're not wrong. In 3 days, Audie. What is it? Yeah, 3 days. Allie already had someone leave a comment.
Yeah.
Under her video telling her that they're a victim. It's happening.
Oh, like yeah. People will come out.
You're not that strategic. You're not that calculated. And you just started doing this. There's no way.
No, this is like a honed skill that takes time. And Navigator, yes, I agree with you on that comment. And the way she said it was just like, no, I don't believe it because whatever. She was just going to marry Chris Watts a month ago. Like, of course. I mean, she could be bi, whatever. That's not even the thing. But it's okay to be surprised. It's okay for the mom to have a natural response. Like, she's not gay. What do you mean? That doesn't mean she'd be angry if she was. I mean, it's just the way that they've twisted and used that, buzzwords. I'm gonna say it. Buzzwords, like it's almost like like a political campaign, almost like where you use buzzwords to enrage the community so that they're distracted from the actual issue and they become more focused on like the social justice stuff, whether it be sexuality, race, whatever. I heard a particular creator doing this by referencing people like, let's say in Allie's live, or I don't even know, it could have even been Granny's, because that's a whole nother issue what went down with Granny and Kim, but that there were angry white straight women or something like that. Like, why? Why are you labeling people that? It's so weird.
Okay, so the very thing that you're accusing all of us of being, you are the only ones who are hyper focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to break your heart, but it's usually the people that are hyper focused and center in on that has the issues and thinks about it day in and day out. Most of us, we don't care what color skin you have. We don't care what gender you are, what sexuality you have. That's your business. I don't care. As somebody that they've targeted with this shit before, let me tell you something. Kim and Crafton are not, and I don't care who gets mad about this because it's true. They are not above lying. They will lie to take you down. And
that is like, the thing that made me think that, like, the moment was, I forget like how long ago it was, but because I remember I had been watching the lives that they were referencing. They made up a completely fabricated, not one iota of it was true about Melissa Jade and Lycan and being in the commenting about Lycan. Like, it was completely fabricated. Like, guys, it wasn't even a misunderstanding. Like, it was just a made up story. So you know what it was bullshit. Like, I was like, oh my God, these people have no problem just lying.
When I had problems with them, I swear to you, and anybody who was around me at that time can tell you this. Kim goes, okay, so Jess apologized to me about mentioning my kids. And there was like just a glimmer that we were going to make peace. And Kim goes on her panel and she says, so she just said that I torment mine and your child. So she accused me of saying on my panel that Kim tortures Jessica's child and her own.
What?
You know me, anybody's kids have never. I don't talk about people's kids. I don't ever bring kids up. She completely made up a whole lie. Like didn't twist it. Didn't take something I said out of context. Completely made pulled something out of her ass and said.
What I mean, like, it's I say this all the time. I know when me and Hope are talking in private, I'm always like, I just am very fascinated that there's these people just blatantly lying, firing up a live on YouTube. They lie, just completely lie, fabric, and it's that. I mean, there's other people that do it too, but they tell this lie, this story, and they still, like, there's all these people that are like, yeah, that's how it happened. I'm like, what is going on here? Is this like some kind of weird brainwashing? Like, that is not how it happened.
It makes you second guess yourself. I went back and I watched my entire live stream to see where she could have got that from, and it was completely pulled out of nowhere. And when I saw that, I said, okay, just what she just did to me, I will never take her for her word on anybody else. You can't do people like that.
And I don't understand, like, I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know what the end game is here for any of these people that are supporting the Unmurdered saga, because in the end, there's going to be some sort of ramifications for what was done. Like, I can't imagine this is just going to go away. Like
No.
there's going to be around, because what's going to end up happening is like what you said, already one other victim has come out. Well, this empowers people. When somebody gets the truth out, we've seen this with other big campaign, like really major campaigns. Like look at the Me Too movement, for Christ's sakes, but that's at a much greater scale. But the point I'm trying to make is when somebody feels empowered because it's like finally somebody's telling the truth and they feel safe because they know that there's people that will believe them and that have experienced the same thing, they're going to start coming out. And there's going to have to be something done, or it's going to have to be addressed one way or another. So I just don't understand why they're choosing this hill to die on, so to speak.
I cannot believe it, because we've only seen we've only seen about a third of the proof.
Yeah, she said there's so much, guys. I think she said, like, I don't want to misspeak, but I don't know if it was hundreds or thousands of messages and pages.
2,500 text messages. I know that's
oh my God. I mean, that in itself, let me tell you guys, if you have not watched Allie's live, I was so impressed with not only how organized, because I am the worst. I am never organized. I just kind of fire off and just babble, but how organized and well presented this was. They removed all emotions, right? They weren't speaking on their personal feelings. They were presenting the facts. These three, Allie and her two guests, did a beautiful job at getting this message across. They didn't like harp on what maybe the way they were feeling. They just wanted to get the evidence. That's what it is, out and say, look, this is what really was happening.
Yeah. And you got to think, these people are so manipulative. They really did. I don't know about now, but they have created reasonable doubt in people's minds. Most of you guys know Jen Sharp.
For sure.
Jen Sharp and I have had we haven't argued, but like we've had a back and forth a couple times about this, because Miranda seemed so convincing to Jen. And I was like, Jen, you got to look at things for what they are. We don't know how much she believes is true, because we don't know exactly how involved she is and how much she's just taking Heather at her word. So you got to be careful and remember what you're dealing with. Seeing the evidence that I have, and I'm going to tell you another reason I'm so invested. Allie's one of my best friends, and I have watched her for months struggle with this. And she was so nervous and scared. And I mean, let's be real. She's got kids. She's making herself a target by doing this. So, to see her struggle and know her, anyone that knows Allie, she's not doing this to be cruel. And
yeah, she's not getting, listen, if anything, she's certainly not getting any clout, or like she's putting her own self, she's making herself a target, right? So she's obviously passionate about it and believes what she's saying. She's not doing this knowing, like you said, she's got a family herself, knowing how diabolical some of the players are.
Yeah. And it was nice to be in Jessica's chat. Like I said,
it was.
I don't just say that. I'm not just saying I don't want to when I say I don't want drama, I'm not just saying that. I really don't. If there's a key to peace, please give it to me, because I would much rather be doing something that's not hurting somebody.
Meaningful. Yeah, it's meaningful when we're talking about this stuff. And listen, I'm a big believer what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So obviously this whole thing, I believe what was done to Granny's watching and the way that she was spoke on was wrong. Whether I like her, don't like her, agree with her, don't agree with her, support her channel or not, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that was wrong. Like that was also so freaking bizarre. I mean, that's a whole nother thing, because then it gets into the Lana stuff and how freaking inappropriate she is.
When she started crying, I was like, you know what? I'm probably blocked. Or, I'm going to take a chance and she might tell me where to, what. But when she started, because she really believed that they were her friends, and to have someone speak so highly of you for so long, and then within a matter of 24 hours, you're calling her a bad mom, you're saying all these awful things about her. Yeah, you can't. I mean, she's human. Of course that hurts. And when I seen that, I was like, oh man. You know, I know that feeling, and she
Well,
really could believe that they were, you know, her friends.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, it makes it, I mean, it just kind of solidifies for me the type of people we're dealing with, right? So never mind, like I always didn't enjoy these people, but it really solidified, of course, when I heard them, the way they spoke on MJ, but then also the things they said about you, the things they said about Alicia, the things they said, like, and then this, and then teaming up with Lana, like after they literally ran a hate campaign. And then now this, I'm sorry.
well, what they did with Melissa is similar to how they were with me, because somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I did nothing to them, and they come for me. I don't think Melissa did anything to them either, and then they just started lashing out, going for her. For what? I don't know, and it was vicious. It was vicious. You should not shame people who are in recovery. Come on. Come on, bringing up that they're calling them drug addicts and talking about.
Oh yeah, no, they don't. There's no like boundaries or or limitations on what they will say or not say. But I mean, listen, they even said, for Christ's sakes, the only reason they went after Lycan was because of her. When the reality is, I mean, if that's true, then boy, they really don't have any principles, because I thought that was their whole thing. They're king and queen SJW, and Lycan is a perfect target for them. So but now they're saying the only reason they went after them was because of Jess. I mean, the whole thing is just so stupid. And I just don't understand. Really what it comes down to is I just don't understand how anybody can take them seriously at this point. I mean, really, guys. Hey, Jameson, welcome. And she hates other women. So there's that. She is definitely, what is that word? I can never think of the word. It always slips my head. Like women that hate women. What are they called? Women that hate women, not men that hate women. There's a word for it. Somebody will tell us.
It's blatantly obvious. And the whole reason that, like, I'm even bringing up what they've done to other people is because, let's be real, these are the ones that's defending all of this stuff, and you have to take past behaviors and current behaviors into consideration. You know, how much can we take it at face value for what they're doing and saying?
Of course. Yeah, and I mean, and the reality is, they've lost all credibility. I mean, that's really what it comes down to for me. So, I mean, they could say whatever, they could show whatever, but at this point, they do a really good job at misdirection. So I feel like their intention is to confuse and create chaos and misdirect people when there's just so clearly cut evidence and proof of what went down here. And if they are going to, again, pick this hill to die on, then so be it. But misogynistic, thank you, Hope.
Yeah, I would never go down with this sinking ship. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, like I said, even if you just have to say, sorry, we operated off bad information, you won't hear about this from us again, and they move on to whatever other crap they're going to talk about. But nope, they just can't take the L. They just can't take the L.
That's a part of being a good creator, though. You have to admit when you're wrong. And when you do that, you show people that you're human, and you can be honest. You have some shred of integrity, but to flail and lash out, not even allow people in your chat to ask you civilized questions. I'm sorry. And then I can't tell you how many times last night she was like, unsub on your way out. Okay.
I mean, why would you want, I mean, they pride themselves on being like these fancy journalists or whatever they want to call themselves, reporters. Why would you want an echo chamber like that, where it's only people, when you want to be these hard-hitting truth sleuths, why would you want an echo chamber? TT also did a really good live. I was like really impressed with what she had to say.
Audie, I swear I was about to say that. I was going to say, can we just say how good TT's live was yesterday? She did a really good job.
Yeah, because she's very good at kind of also just saying like, I mean, again, there's plenty of things I don't typically watch her. I don't always agree with her stance on things either, but that's neither here nor there. She was very good at just saying, listen, this is what I support and this is what I don't support. And I cannot support when things are just so, like, what else do you need? Like, it's just, it really makes you pause and think, because I don't know. It's hard. Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand how anybody can get behind it.
I've had an opportunity to talk to her quite a few times, and I have to tell you, she's nothing of what I thought. I thought she was, what's the word? Like, constantly lashing out, hard to talk to, maybe. Not even, she is probably one of the most reasonable people that I've spoken with. She's calm and she's been very kind to me. And I have to say, she was the voice of reason on that live stream yesterday. And I knew that we got to remember too, with all of these allegations and all of the different things that are coming out, this is emotionally triggering for a lot of people who have had some of the same, circumstances as far as losing a child, the SA. And when she started talking about losing a child, I broke down.
Oh yeah, it's very, very. You said it perfectly. It brings up a lot. There's a lot of triggers, and for people, and I think what's even more like is for the people that have experienced these things. I mean, I don't know, when these tragedies are being manipulated and twisted and turned to use as a way to make money or to hurt somebody or to con somebody, it's just like, it's like being hurt all over again. You know what I mean? Like, it's like taking your pain and minimizing it. Like it's some story for YouTube or something. It's horrible.
Navigator, there was absolutely no point in last night's live, and I'm going to agree with you. I was that's what I was saying about how, if you want to come out and show evidence, then get it together and show it. But going live with absolutely no evidence, just pure allegation and speculation, that could be for nothing more than to try to create doubt in people's minds. I mean, it to me, I waited, I listened, I gave them an opportunity to put out and say what they needed to say. And honestly, I took nothing from that last night at all.
Oh, I was muted and talking. I always kind of come onto YouTube with this attitude that I will listen to anybody. I love participating in multiple creators chats. I am very, very open-minded. Like, I will hear anybody's position. And you know what? Sometimes when it has absolutely nothing to do with drama or anything, or even a true crime case or anything, sometimes somebody could fire up a live to talk about a movie or to talk about, current events or whatever. And I may not necessarily enjoy that creator, like every take that they have or every bit or every opinion, but I still will participate if it's something I'm interested in talking in. That's just me. That's how I am. I love conversation. I love chatting and I love talking. So that's how I operate. But I kind of forgot where I was going. You just said something that made me think of it, and then I just had a brain fart because I was rambling. But
you see no point in the live.
Oh, yeah. But there are just certain people that it gets to a point where you just cannot, it's almost like no matter what they say, no matter what it's about, like you just have nothing to contribute because you can't take anything they say seriously. And I think that's a good example of like what's happening with these two. And telling people, it's like a toddler pitching a fit, saying, well, then unsub on your way out. Like, if you don't like what I'm saying, then unsub on your way out. Well, that's not being very fair and unbiased. I mean, boy.
Well, you have people coming in there who have supported you for a really long time. And then you're going to sit there and treat them some kind of way because they disagree with you on this. That's not going to help. You're not going to win people over that way. And to be honest with you, it's a losing battle anyway, because the proof is out there. We're talking 1/3 of the proof that pretty much shatters all of the claims that they've made in regards to rescuing Miranda from Canada.
Exactly. And that's really what it just comes down to. It's like everything was
Oh,
based on a lie. Everything. The
I want to
whole
mention something
freaking.
else. Miranda, not long ago, went live asking for money for someone to help her get her truck from Canada. For her to go up there and see her friends one last time. Okay, you're running from your people who are horrible, but you want to go up there and see everybody?
And yeah, like you literally fled a country because of it. And I think one of those text messages, even her mother had said something like, well, when the weather's not as bad, we'll get her, or the cost that we'll get to get her truck down there, do you think it'd be better just to buy, like something along those lines? Like they were very willing to help her with transportation and stuff. Like, I don't know. The whole thing is so nuts.
Well, and what bothers me
I
is them going, as soon as they start talking to her again after that first live stream Allie done, they grifted money from her so many times, Audie. Like, you just got back, like, not even in good graces, but on speaking terms, and you're already asking her for money.
Yeah, because Allie's a good friend and wanted to help Miranda, I think, right? That's the impression I got,
and they're saying
it's all manipulation.
Allie, but Allie spoke to Miranda one time, and she told her, "You do what makes you happy." How is that attacking somebody? That's trying to help somebody and give them good advice. These people don't realize that Allie has a good reputation with this community. Allie's been here for long enough to where most people can see her character.
And she's not a drama monger. Yeah, and she's not a drama monger. So she doesn't, I never see her firing up lives about other people, drama, chaos, nothing. Like she oops, did I lose connection?
No, you
guys hear me? Okay, I just lost my Bluetooth. She loves true crime and she's good at it and that's what she's passionate about. So like I take what she has to offer much more I think she's much more reliable than a lot of other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Well, she was so worried and she was like, Brittany, what if they think that I'm just, starting trouble, or what if, people think that I'm just being an awful person? And I was like, Allie, your character speaks for itself. I don't think you realize how many people's going to be behind you. And look, and that's what I told her. I was like, that's the one good thing about being, trying to be a good person, because actions speak louder than words. And my heart goes out to her and all of those people.
Oh yeah,
they're being harassed daily. No one deserves.
Well, I mean, it's like Pandora's box has been opened now, right? And you can't put everything back in. So, and I mean, I don't know how much it's worth, but I support Allie 110%. And I know so many other people are rallying behind her. And I know her one goal is, despite everything, is just to put the truth out. And that's what I think she's going to accomplish. I mean, like, I think it was Navigator that said, was it Navigator or Remy? I have to look back up. I can't see YouTube, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm only seeing comments on the StreamYard side. And then I don't know how to scroll up. I'm like such a boomer. What do they call them? Boomers. I feel like a boomer. Okay, I figured it out. Hold on. I want to find that comment because it was good. Oh, yeah. Wait. It was after. Sorry, guys. Be patient with me. I'm going to have to wrap this up soon.
Remy, I said the same thing.
Here it is. It was Navigator. After Alex's live, I don't think there's anything else to hear. Heather has zero credibility in a history of creating false documents and impersonating people. The gig is up. Yes. I mean, at this point, it's just to provide the evidence. But I just don't know how they can even, I mean, what kind of story do you create to debunk this? I mean, that is just, I don't even want to know. I can't imagine like what they're going to come out with, but the gig is up. I mean, that's perfect. The gig is up.
That person too, but I'm going to be that person. You got to be careful. People can manipulate text messages too. So now we're going to have to look at a bunch of documents that were created by Heather.
Yes,
how much can we really believe?
Yeah, I mean, we're living in a time where you're right. Like I've seen like some stuff I never thought I would see. People, doing some really, really crazy stuff just to be right. But in this case, I think it's even more than that because this is like a criminal that is probably wanting to stay out of prison. So who knows what they're going to come up with. And here we are. So I want to thank you guys so much for all coming by and hanging out and letting me tell the story, and Britt for coming up and helping me, because I know you got way more details than me. But I just want to encourage people, even if you're not into like the Watts stuff, this is not even Watts stuff, but just to understand the depravity of some people, listen to Allie's live that she did. It not only is it, it is as sad and heartbreaking, it's fascinating to understand the mind of somebody that can create this kind of con. Like, it is just mind blowing. So I just encourage people to take a look at it. I need to go to Trader Joe's, my Saturday at Trader Joe's. So
I go.
Yeah, of course.
You can take your money back from Target.
Oh my gosh, yes. So wait, let me tell you guys what happened. I know this is totally unrelated, but I have to tell you guys this. Okay, because this I could have been like, if I didn't look at my receipt, I wouldn't have known this, right? And I always get my deliveries like through Shipt because it's just convenient and it just makes my life easier. So I always get they're like same day deliveries from Target. So I needed pull-ups, right? And you all know how expensive pull-ups are. So the pull-up brand pull-ups were $36.99 a box. Okay. But there was like a thing, if I spent $100 on like baby products, so I figured I'd get some wipes too and a couple boxes of pull-ups, I would get a $30 gift card for Target. Thank you so much, Jameson. So I was like, okay, I'll get 2 boxes of these pull-ups and I'll get like 2 big boxes of wipes and I'll put me right at the 100 and I get my $30 gift card for Target. So the shopper texted me this morning because I had placed an order last night for first thing this morning. And she said, they don't have the pull-ups you want. I said, oh, that's okay. Do they have the Target brand, like the Up and Up brand? And she was like, yep. And I said, they have the girls, 4T, whatever. Yep. Okay. So we'll get me 3 boxes of those because they're only $26 versus $36. So I said, get me 3 boxes. Perfect. So then when she dropped them off, everything was great. I looked at the receipt. They charged me for 3 boxes of that pull-up brand. So it was like it ended up being like a $30 difference, maybe 28 and something. So I was like overcharged. So the lady was super helpful on the phone, but she tried to tell me initially that, oh, well, they just charged you for your $30 gift card. And I'm like, it wasn't a gift card. It was a gift card for spending $100. I wasn't buying a $30 gift card to like give as a present or something. What are you talking about? It's part of the promotion. So then when she looked into it a little further, I said, I sent pictures like through my dispute on the app. I said, I'm not lying. I have the Up and Up boxes here. And then eventually, and I just got the email that said your refund is being processed. Because I was like, that is milk, bread, strawberries, turkey for the week.
Oh, are you killing me? Are you? Yeah. You don't
I don't have $30 to be like just playing around with. So I'm glad.
The cart that happens. That's why I don't like it. Because they don't have a credit.
Yes. I don't. Oops, sorry.
How
She's
many?
Not in.
She just is in that box.
This box. Well, the
Bless your heart. I feel your pain.
The Up and Up brand, that's the $28 or $26. There's 50 in the box. The pull-up brand that was $36, I think was 60 in the box. Okay. So, but I also on the Up and Up brand, I think it was $3. It might have been $3 off too per box or something like that with my red card because I use like my Target credit card. And there was my you get the 5% in the end anyway. But so it's still like I never use pull-ups with my boy because he was a late potty trainer, but like he went from diapers to underpants and it was really, really, he was old, like he was just shy of turning 4, like I remember. Whereas she is just a different kid altogether. So she is bigger. So the diapers I felt like were just like uncomfortable on her, and she is doing good with the potty. Like she's doing better every single day, but there's still times where she just will be like, Mom, I peed. And I'm sorry. I know like so many moms are like, or dads or whoever potty trains their kids are like, just let them go naked and stuff. And I'm like, listen, I just got my dream house built. And bought new furniture. I mean, it's only a couple years old. I do not want my kid she will pee on stuff. She has peed on the couch. Like, she does not have any qualms about just peeing. And I'm sorry, I am not doing that. Like, if we were outside, you know, I'm not home all day. I'm at work. Like, I can't do that. I saw somebody say something about Walmart. The problem is there's literally, guys, this is going to sound crazy, especially unless you live in my area. There is no Walmarts. There's one actually, and it's like 35, 40. Yeah, no Walmarts. There's one that's about 40 minutes away, but at 40 minutes away is far when you live in my area, because there's like, I'm in an area where everything is so accessible. So like Target and Walgreens and stuff, there's like a million of them. So
Target is 40 minutes away from me. I'm the opposite. I got Walmart, which I hate. But Target's like 45 minutes from me.
So I've done like an Instacart with Walmart, like around Christmas time, and I've done obviously stuff like order online, because Walmart had like a deal, I'll never forget, on Christmas lights, and they had like the best price. You want more strawberries? Okay. So they had the best.
I've been looking forward to joining you, and
this was so much fun. Like, I mean, it was sad that we had to talk about it, but I'm glad like people were here to hear about it. And I'm so grateful that you came up on the panel with me, because I know you know so much about it. So what I'm going to do is, if I really encourage people, just, follow Britt, somebody drop anybody that wants to drop their channels, please do in the chat, or one of, like, I know Hope's here, drop Brittany's and Remy's, and I don't know if Navigator has a channel, and me and Hope have our true crime channel. We just haven't really been super inspired yet, like recently, to do like a case, but maybe we'll do the unmurdered crime. Maybe we'll pick up that on the true crime channel. Who knows?
I have the conspiracy live tonight on my second channel. I'm going to try to go early because we're getting ready for school over here. So my lives are going to.
When do you go back?
We go back Monday. So my lives, whether normally at the 10 o'clock hour, I'm going to try to do them around 7:30, 8 o'clock, because
that's
5 o'clock comes early, girl.
Oh gosh, yeah. We don't go back till after Labor Day, but still, it's still coming. I still have a few things to get my boy. Like, I'm gonna get him like new underpants and socks and stuff. He wears uniform, so it's easy that way.
Well, I am not ready at all.
Yeah, I did my school supplies he's older, so his school supplies, I was like, thank God when I got the list, it was like pretty basic, bare bones stuff, like, paper and a binder and stuff. But something told me to just get on it. I'm get very anxious when I know I have to do, like, Christmas. I've already done, like, I've gotten a lot of Christmas shopping done already, guys, because I get so anxious that I'm not going to have money when it gets closer to Christmas or something. Like, I don't know if the work slows for my husband. I don't know. I just get too paranoid that I just try to get some big stuff done.
We're opposite in that regard. I do everything last minute, which is horrible.
I used to, but it would, I get too anxious. I get too anxious. I can't. And then it ruins the holidays for me. I mean, I'm not I would love if our holidays were just me, my husband, and the kids home. Like, I love my family. I'm very fortunate. Everybody is super close. It's not like we don't see them anyway all the time. But once the holidays come, I feel like all we're doing is running constantly, house to house. My husband's always home for a very limited period of time, if he's even home for the holidays. This year is his year to be home, though. So he'll be home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we end up having to just do so much. And it just, it gives me anxious. I know, I won't talk about Christmas. He's in the private sector. He's a merchant marine.
Okay.
Yeah, so he does tugboats and stuff. So but he goes, it's not like he doesn't do day runs. He goes usually 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. But right now he left. So he's on his third week. He won't be back. He's going to come home for Labor Day, Saturday and Sunday, and then go back out until probably mid-September. Then he'll come home for 2 weeks.
Oh, my heart goes out to you and Thumb Thug. Her husband's always away. And I'm like,
yeah,
no, that wouldn't work for me.
I know, but you know what? There's a reason, this is how it's always been, even when we dated. So you just don't know any different, right? And it's just, and I was a single mom with me and my son. So I was always alone anyway with him. That to me, I don't know, you just get used to it that sometimes, I know this is going to sound crazy, but when he's home for like extended periods, it's almost like we kind of start to get like on each other's nerves because we're so used to our routine. Yeah. We get like a little like, okay, it's time, you're used to, I mean, it's going to sound crazy, but like the snoring makes me insane because I'll have like so many weeks of no snoring. And then when he comes back home, that's why I go to bed. I'm so trained to go to bed so early. I want to fall asleep before him because the snoring makes me nuts. But anyway, so I'm going to go get my day going, go to Trader Joe's, get some goodies over there because I think some of their fall stuff is out and all of their pumpkin stuff and their maple stuff. They're different flavored yummies.
You look forward to going shopping. I dread it, and I wait till last minute. So
yeah,
you got fun with that.
Yes, I'm going to get some goodies, maybe get something good for dinner tonight for me and CJ. I think my boy's coming home tonight, too, because he's been at his dad's like all week, so I miss him. I want him to come home. So I'm going to give him a call, and I will catch up with everybody maybe on Tuesday, because if I do go live, if it's not a weekend, I think it's going to be like a Tuesday morning, because I'm off on Tuesdays now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do that for, but I've just been taking a PTO day on Tuesdays. Initially, it was so that I could like go to the beach and do summer things, and it became more just like a lazy day.
Well, come by tonight. We're going to talk about.
Yes, I'll definitely. Yeah, Saturday night. I don't have to be to bed early. We have nothing happening tomorrow morning, so I will definitely be by tonight. Thank you, everybody.
You know about that? It's crazy.
What's that?
Predictive programming. You know all about it.
Yeah. The whole, all of that stuff is, whew, it's good. That is a rabbit hole. That'll be fun.
All right. See you later. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.